The storm desk. Read the storm, book the roofs. A cell pops on radar, and the next 48 hours decide your month. The phone is ringing. Competitors are on your street, your supplier is out of cap nails, and a homeowner wants an answer now. So you run the surge on adrenaline. The national outfits don't. They run a CAT team, a catastrophe response crew built to inspect, document, protect, and estimate after a storm. By the end, you'll know how to steal 5 of their habits with 2 crews and a shelf. Size isn't the lesson. Sequence is. First, why this is your problem. Severe storms aren't a rare surprise you can wing. NOAA counted 27 separate billion-dollar weather disasters in 2024, 17 of them severe storms. Hail and wind, the category that wears out roofs, is roughly half of all billion-dollar disasters since 1980. So if your market sees one real event most years, the only question is whether your response runs on a plan or on panic. The Nationals decided that in calm weather. Lesson 1. Build the playbook before the forecast, not during the chaos. The hours after a storm are the worst time to make a careful call. Every choice you defer gets made worse by the noise. So move the decisions earlier. The triage rules you write in February are just as valid in May, but you wrote them with a clear head, not a ringing phone. Ready.gov's continuity guidance agrees. Decide in advance how you'll communicate, operate, and recover. The deliverable is one shared storm response folder. A plan in one veteran's head is not a plan. Here's what goes in the folder, decided once, by name. Who answers storm calls? Who triages the urgent leaks? Who assigns crews? Who can spend on emergency supplies? Then your triage categories in writing. Active leak, unsafe opening, temporary protection request, non-urgent inspection, estimate. Define categories let your office schedule honestly instead of stamping everything urgent. Write it down, and a green dispatcher in their first storm performs like a veteran, because the judgment lives in the document, not in someone's head. Lesson 2. Separate triage from the sale. This is where a disciplined deployment and a storm chaser split hardest. The first visit exists to record what's visible, protect the property within your scope, and flag urgent safety issues, not to pressure a scared owner into a tear-off. The FTC describes the chaser pattern. Someone shows up uninvited, claims to have noticed damage, and pushes for a decision with cash up front. Mirror that, and you read as the threat. Storm work pulls you toward the insurance conversation, and there's a hard legal line with teeth. In June 2024, the Texas Supreme Court decided the Stonewater roofing case. That roofer had advertised itself as experienced at settling claims and contracted to negotiate with insurers, with no public adjuster license. The court held that negotiating a claim is public adjusting, and you can't dodge the license by calling yourself an insurance specialist. So here's the line. You document what you see and write an estimate. The insurer decides coverage. The homeowner owns the claim. Never offer to maximize it, and never waive the deductible. That's fraud in many states. Lesson 3. Standardize field documentation like it's the product. If you copy one habit, copy this. Consistent files let a big company put any crew on any roof and still hand a supervisor something readable. You need one format everyone uses the same way. Every file carries the address, the date and time on every photo, slope labels, conditions per area, the temporary work, and who authorized it, and one row amateurs skip, the areas you did not inspect. A file that implies an inspection, you didn't do surfaces at the worst time. The photos have standards too, because a photo is evidence. Shoot a fixed sequence. Wide elevation of each slope, mid-range of each section, then a close-up with something for scale. Context before detail. A close-up with no wide shot to locate it is useless later. And watch your language. Write creasing and granule loss observed, West Slope Field. Don't write hail damage. That phrase quietly makes 3 claims. It's damage, hail caused it, it's recent. You can support one from a ladder, what the roof looks like. Let qualified parties draw conclusions about cause. Lesson 4. Put safety and crew limits ahead of speed. The same surge that fills your schedule tempts crews to climb wet roofs at dawn and rush a tarp in high wind. The federal standards do not relax after a storm. OSHA's fall protection rule requires protection at 6 feet or more above a lower level, which on a steep roof means a guardrail, a safety net, or a personal fall arrest system. OSHA also says only trained, equipped workers belong near storm debris and down lines. Heat is the quiet hazard, so build water and rest into the plan. Here's the part owners get backwards. The jobs you decline for safety are usually cheaper than the ones you force. A tarp installed in high wind that fails overnight costs you a return trip and water damage you now own. A fatigued crew rushed onto a steep roof at dusk risks an injury worth more than the job. For a small shop, the math is harsher. One injury in your busiest week pulls a crew lead, a truck, and a supervisor out of rotation. The roof you don't climb tired is the cheapest control you own. Lesson 5. Debrief every deployment and upgrade the playbook. This is the lesson that compounds. The first storm you run on a written plan exposes its gaps, and the debrief turns them into fixes instead of recurring failures. No bureaucracy. After a big storm week, get dispatch, sales, production, and office in one room for an hour. Did the triage categories hold, or did everything become urgent? Then capture a few plane numbers. Time from call to first visit. Files still open 1 week out. Your real follow-through grade. Now the quiet edge nobody talks about. The database. A big company knows which homes it has touched and re-engages them when a new event hits the same footprint. You're probably sitting on years of past estimates you never go back to. After a storm, your highest value outbound is not a cold street, it's your own history. The owner you estimated 3 years ago whose roof was already midlife? The declined estimate on a house that just took direct hail. That list is welcome, the opposite of the chaser pattern. Here's where Roof Predict fits and where it doesn't. The hard part of targeting a storm week is deciding which roofs to set a ladder on first. Roof Predict pairs an estimated roof age range with storm physics modeled per individual home, scoring which roofs a real storm most plausibly wore out, so you skip the brand new roofs and go to the houses likely due. After the event, it keeps your storm leads, roof notes, and photos in one place. Be clear on the limits. It does not inspect, diagnose, certify remaining life, or decide coverage. Roof age is a planning range, not a date. One more national habit. Don't substitute materials quietly. After a regional event, tarps, drip edge, and underlayment go scarce, and the temptation is to swap a component to keep moving. But many enhanced wind warranties depend on a specific accessory system and nailing pattern. A program like GAF's wind-proven coverage requires a defined system to hold. Swap a part without telling the owner, and you can void the coverage they're paying for. So if a material is unavailable, update the estimate and get approval. That's the difference between a storm shop and a chaser. Close the loop. 5 habits, none of them need a fleet. Build the playbook in calm weather so a green dispatcher runs the storm like a veteran. Separate triage from the sale so you read as the professional, not the threat. Document like it's the product. Put safety ahead of speed. Debrief every event and edit the folder. The national edge was never the trailers. It was deciding, once, who answers, who climbs, who documents, who says no. Run like a cat team. And when the homeowner pulls out their screening guide, you pass it.